let
Why are
you
you following me?
No, bear with me a second,
No,
mate.
why are you following me?
Can you just listen to me for 1 second?
No.
Just because obviously I have to just engage with you for 1 second.
But why are you following me?
So my name's
You've been following me
PC.
for ages.
Just bear with me a second.
Okay.
My name's PC Tunbridge, shoulder number 1998. I'm from the Ministry of Defence Police, based out of Whitehall Police Station. Just to let you know, the interaction is being videoed.
A direct accusation, immediately denied. One claims a pattern of being followed, the other insists this is routine patrol. That contradiction is critical because both cannot be true without a clear and consistent explanation. If this is coincidence, the reasoning should remain stable, but if it starts to change, then the justification begins to weaken. And in situations like this, consistency is what determines whether authority holds or begins to collapse. Footage courtesy of the Laughing Auditor. Full credit in the description. Go check out their channel.
Content with that. However, having driven past, obviously seen the staff member poke his head out when he saw our vehicle, we thought there was something else that he may obviously want to report to us.
I understand.
Hence why we pulled over. Okay.
I was just wondering why you're going around in circles. So that's why I was hiding from you, because I was like, what are they up to? You know what I mean? Like, normally you just come up and have a chat, do you know what I mean?
You know what? We were on our patrols, in all honesty. Okay?
I didn't realise you guys patrolled Mayfair.
No. So what is, we've obviously got an army barracks in Hyde Park.
That's right, yeah.
So obviously we do patrols. Obviously this is one of our routes back.
Is it?
Okay.
Right, okay.
Obviously we change the routes all the time, to be honest with you. We were on our way back. Obviously at first I did see you with both your obviously GoPro and that hood on, but I had no concerns because obviously, in all honesty, you're in a public place.
I appreciate that, yeah.
After denying the accusation, the officers remain engaged, but no clear explanation is provided beyond routine patrol. If that claim was sufficient, the interaction would likely end here. Instead, it continues without defined purpose.
Recording, okay.
I've been in the area for ages.
No problem. Have you been to any other embassies?
Yeah, I was.
If you don't mind me
I was at the Qatari embassy.
Qatari embassy, yeah.
Yeah, and then I just made my way around here because I'd done the Saudi embassy before.
Okay.
And I thought I'm going to swing by, see how things are.
No problem.
And then, but there was two guys in plain clothes that were following me for quite a while.
Okay.
So I was taking my, and I thought they came out the embassy, and then I seen you guys, and I was like, well, maybe they're police officers.
Yeah.
But I don't know where they've disappeared to now. But yeah, they were sort of ducking behind cars, taking my photograph and whatnot.
No, do you know what? I did see you going behind cars. At first, I did think, oh, is he trying to dodge us for any particular reason? Anything like that. So obviously, I've come to have an interaction with you. If you don't mind me asking, have you entered any of the premises?
No, not at all.
I've seen most of your TikToks and whatnot, so I know normally you say out.
The conversation develops, but still no offence is identified. No suspicion is clearly explained. Under standard policing principles, engagement should be based on objective reasoning, not ongoing presence without purpose.
I
do, yeah.
You just sort of
diplomatic premises are sort of off limits inside. I would never do that, you know. Like.
Obviously, through most your TikTok page, you get asked the same questions all the time. Would you be happy to provide your name?
No, I don't need to.
No. Obviously, you can understand, or if you don't mind, do you understand why concerns have been raised with? Just hear me out for a minute.
Okay. I hear this question. I hear this a lot.
I know you do. And you know what? I have to ask it because I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't
appreciate that.
It, okay?
But yeah, still like.
Do you understand why staff members, although you can film in a public space, right? Because it's a public space. Do you understand why members of staff would have concerns with obviously?
The focus now shifts toward personal details, but under Section 50 of the Police Reform Act, a name can only be required when antisocial behaviour is reasonably suspected. Here, that requirement has not been clearly established.
Just bear with me.
Okay.
A male with 2 cameras, right? Have you just been out the front or have you been lapping the building?
No, I was just out the front at first, and I walked up to the Egyptian Cultural and Education Centre. Yeah. And then that's when I noticed those 2 guys. So then I came back to the front of the Saudi embassy. Yeah. I spoke to one of the security guys very briefly. He was saying, oh, you can't film. And he asked me if I was Saudi. I said, no, I'm British and I can. And then I came round here because I thought those 2 guys were following me.
Yeah.
And then I seen you guys circling about, and I thought, what are they up to? Because normally, with the embassies, diplomatic police that come and talk to me, and I deal with them quite a lot. And normally they just come in, speak to the embassy, and then disappear these days. Yeah. You know, so that's why I was looking at you guys going round, and I thought, what he's up to?
As I said, we were driving around and whatnot.
Yeah.
Obviously, I did see you earlier. I did want to kind of see what you're doing. I appreciate your auditor. I appreciate that. I just wanted to kind of see what you were doing. Then obviously when I've seen you duck behind the vehicle, obviously we were just going to drive off.
Yeah, well,
I
tell you what I says to the camera.
Yeah,
I said, I'm going to play along with your game of cat and mouse, because that's what I felt like you were doing.
Yeah.
Because you kept driving around and pulling in, and then I seen you go up to that corner, and then you stopped there to look down the pavement, and I thought, like, you want to play games, we'll play games, and I'll duck behind cars and whatnot, you know, like, I'm not unreasonable, you know, like, if you have a conversation.
We're not unreasonable, we're having a nice conversation.
You know what I mean? Like, if you have a
what I mean?
conversation, I speak to anyone, you know, like,
that's no problem.
And I take people as they come, like.
No problem. Obviously, you don't want to give your name, no problem. You're just...
This is where the contradiction becomes more visible. The individual describes repeated behavior, suggesting intent. The officers continue to frame it as routine, but repetition without explanation begins to challenge that claim.
Going around your day, you've been to the Saudi embassy, any other embassies?
Just the Qatari, and then as I say, I went past that Egyptian cultural place around the corner, and then I seen those two guys, then just came back this way.
Okay, another question, do you have any other embassies that you will be doing, or how long are you going to be in the area for, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know, I've already been here for quite some time.
Yeah.
I came here today to film at the Qatari embassy.
Yeah.
I never had any intention to come here.
Okay.
But normally I wouldn't give this information, but these guys seem reasonable enough, so as I say, I take people to come. So as I was at the Qatari embassy, I knew the Saudi embassy was around the corner, and I thought I'm just going to have a wee walk around and just have a wee look around.
Despite the ongoing interaction, no formal action is taken. No search, no defined allegation. This lack of escalation suggests uncertainty because where legal grounds exist, procedural steps usually follow.
Okay.
You've been pretty sound, so we're just having a nice chat.
I take people as they come, you know, like, obviously I come across officers that don't have a right approach, and then that sort of starts off.
We do exactly the same thing.
But I've dealt with MOD, police at the Ministry of Defence, and they were reasonable there as well.
Exactly.
You know, like,
so obviously, I'm just going to say my bit, okay?
Go on, let's hear it.
You know the bits and bobs, so we are going to get calls regarding this. Obviously, you may get a response from the Met where they do come by.
They've been passed. I've seen the diplomatic police go past and they've not stopped.
So you may get that response just because obviously you're in the area, you're filming embassies, and obviously inside they're raising their concerns, male with a hood on, balaclava, whatever, with two cameras, okay?
Now the reasoning begins to shift. The focus moves toward public concern. But filming in public is lawful. Concern alone does not create authority. It must be supported by objective justification.
Yeah.
And normally what they do is they'll push the panic button, you end up with a blow-out response. I'd much prefer that if they want to give you guys a call, then by all means, you know what I mean, they do that.
You do. I'll go in and have a chat with them myself.
Yeah.
Obviously, if our colleagues from the Met obviously do pop over, that's because either and this is for if you're filming anywhere really, or protected sites, whatnot. Normally a 999 call goes in, it will get immediate response. You'll normally get officers come to you, they'll obviously ask the same questions.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not my first rodeo, you know.
That's brilliant, mate. So as I said, I'm just going to leave you out here with my colleague 1 minute. I'll go have a chat with them.
Put it at ease, tell them I come in peace.
No, and mate, okay, I'll do that, okay?
Alright, I appreciate that.
Bear with me a second.
Yeah, no worries, do your thing.
The interaction continues, but nothing develops. No offense is identified. No enforcement action is taken. This raises a key issue. If suspicion existed, it should lead to a clear outcome.
Very rarely interact with me, you know.
Exactly.
So, they've not really...
I saw you, I thought, I saw the, and then when I saw the tripod, I thought, it's going to be an auditor.
Right, okay. You got it, yeah.
He was just sound.
How long have you been with the MOD police?
A few years.
A few years. Have you always been MOD police?
Yeah.
Have you? You enjoy it?
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty decent.
Is it right? Okay.
You get kind of like, I'd say you don't get as much grief as what like the
Met get.
Yeah,
right, okay.
Get, but at the same time, it's sort of like you can kind of pick sort of what jobs.
What's the main difference between sort of what you guys do and what the Met do? Is there a massive difference, or is it just the sort of the sites that you cover?
So first of all, they're a home office force, so obviously their job is to go out, fight crime, respond to calls, etc., etc.
The tone begins to relax. The earlier implication of concern starts to fade. This shift matters because it suggests the initial reasoning may not have been strong enough to sustain further action.
Like sites, MOD sites,
Yeah.
military sites, military personnel,
Right,
and then MOD personnel. That's it. So we're just a more specific force in
Right, I
that
understand.
is our sole or our main purpose.
I always thought with like the military sites, you had the military police that used to do all that.
Yeah, so they will be, I think, and don't quote me to this. They
Yeah.
will be more. They investigate like their soldiers or
Right,
things that happen on
okay.
their patch. But obviously, a military police officer doesn't have that authority over
Civilians.
You need a civilian police force.
Right, I
so essentially,
understand.
what the MOD essentially said is, oh, right, we'll get a civilian police force.
Fair enough.
So we have that sort of thing where we can stop and search if we need to.
Yeah, I understand.
Etc. Etc.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas a soldier couldn't do that.
Right, okay, I
So
understand.
it's kind of that niche thing where you need the civil police, but whereas now, if it was something like the Met Police or like the DPG or something like that, then most times they might take however forever long in a day to,
Yeah,
like,
to respond, yeah.
Whereas with us lot,
You're pretty
what
prompt.
would maybe be an S grade for
Yeah.
the Met is immediate for us.
Right, okay.
Because it's us.
At this stage, the interaction is nearing its end. Still, no legal action is taken. No clear justification is reinforced. The situation simply fades out without resolution.
Specific calls. So,
Oh, fair enough.
yeah,
like,
so it's kind of just like
somebody's got to do it, I suppose,
Exactly,
innit?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
at least you're enjoying it. That's the main
exactly
thing.
that.
Like,
Exactly that. That's all it is.
Oh.
So no, it's
yeah, as I say, I dealt with sort of like not Ministry of Defence police, not police that I come across regularly, but I have seen them down at the MOD.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And as I say, I don't remember having any issues with them. You know, like, so pretty straightforward. You alright, Chief?
Yeah, good yourself.
Yeah, I'm alright. Sorted.
Had a chat with him.
Yeah.
I basically said to him that you're not looking to enter the building.
Oh, 100%. No, I'm not
I've
gonna
said
do that.
To him. I've advised him that obviously you're on a public footpath, that you're just filming for content for your TikTok, obviously, if you don't mind. So that's all I've said to him. I know you're not going to go in there.
Oh, 100%.
And finally, the tone becomes fully friendly. From implied suspicion to a calm conclusion. This contrast highlights the lack of consistency throughout the encounter. This interaction begins with a clear accusation and ends without explanation. An individual believes he is being followed. The officers deny it, describing their actions as routine patrol. But as the encounter unfolds, that explanation does not remain consistent. The engagement continues without defined purpose. A request for personal details is introduced without legal grounding. The reasoning shifts toward public concern, despite no offence being identified. Under UK law, police powers must be based on reasonable suspicion, not assumption, not repetition, and not undefined concern. Section 50 requires a clear link to antisocial behaviour. PACE requires objective justification for continued engagement. Neither is clearly demonstrated here, and that is where the issue becomes clear, because if there was genuine suspicion, it should lead to action. If there was no suspicion, the continued engagement becomes difficult to justify. Instead, what we see is a gradual shift in reasoning, followed by a complete softening of tone. No enforcement, no outcome, no clear justification, and that is what ultimately causes the explanation to fall apart.